Good evening, Mr. Shaw, Dr. Sussman, community members, and Board of Education. My name is Lori Skonberg, and I'm the president of the Lawrence Teachers Association. What I have to say might take a little longer than 2 minutes, so if you will indulge me, I would appreciate it. If not, I'll just hand it off to someone else who will finish it. That's okay? I'm happy to hear you say, Mr. Shaw, that you aren't happy with the overemphasis with testing that goes along with the Common Core. However, our displeasure goes a step further. The LTA has tremendous concerns about the implementation of the Common Core learning standards on all levels, especially on the elementary and middle school levels. We have been relentlessly expressing these concerns since the first day of school to all levels of administration, from the building level to the district level. The first marking period has already come to an end, and our concerns have mostly gone for naught. Therefore, before the school year completely slips away, it's time to explain what we have been saying for so long. The New York State Department of Education has recommended, not mandated, that math and ELA be taught through the use of modules created by the nonprofit Expeditionary Learning. While most school districts have chosen to implement only elements of the modules, Lawrence has taken a different approach. In grades 5, 6, 7, and 8, for instance, teachers have been instructed to teach ELA only through the use of these modules. Every lesson is scripted, from the reading passages to the questions, and every lesson is taught in lockstep fashion. Every child reads the same text and hears the same scripted questions. And I keep asking myself, what's the point of having honors classes in ELA if every class is taught the curriculum in the same exact manner? The answer is, there is none, and this is unacceptable. In order to maintain the integrity of the honors program, the distinction must be made between the ELA honors and the average classes at the Lawrence Middle School and High School. The modules also make it very difficult for teachers to meet the educational needs of their students. For example, in the past, teachers have had the flexibility to differentiate the material based upon student reading levels. But now, students on the same grade, except for those in self-contained special ed classes, receive the same instruction, read the same texts. The reason this is so upsetting is that in the past, teachers have had the ability to choose reading materials that challenged the best readers but did not overwhelm those that struggled. Now, there is no choice. For instance, all 8th grade classes will read To Kill a Mockingbird, a novel historically read by 9th and 10th graders. I'm all for raising expectations, but what about the special education student in an inclusion class who was reading on a 3rd grade level? Should they have to read the same book as the honors class reading at a 12th grade level? The ironic thing is, one of the district's goals is differentiation. Yet, the use of these modules removes the teacher's ability to differentiate. And I would like to know why this contradiction has been allowed to continue. On the elementary level, the modules present different but no less important concerns. Let's use the 1st grade as an example. The modules being followed by the 1st grade teachers focus almost entirely on auditory learning. In other words, the primary method of instruction is having teachers read to their students. There is little to no writing, there is little to no independent practice. Again, there is no room for differentiation. This situation is both unacceptable and totally mind-boggling. Every educator learns in the basic educational theory classes about the learning pyramid, which clearly shows that the lecture is the form of instruction least likely to lead to long-term comprehension. Students retain 5% or less of what they hear only in lecture format. However, New York State, in their wisdom, adopted an English curriculum for our 1st graders that is comprised mostly of lecture. In addition to the content of the modules, which is well beyond both their ability level and maturity level of our students. For example, there is a unit in the 1st grade module that goes into great detail about the Jewish, Christian, and Islamic faiths. While this is fine unto itself, the depth of which the module goes into is bound to cause more confusion than clarity. I'd like to quote now from New York Engage the actual comment or lesson, and I quote, "Jesus was a holy leader and a special teacher. Christians today believe Jesus is the Messiah, sent to save the people here on earth. Christians also believe that Jesus is the Son of God. He became so popular with the people that some began to call him the king of the Jewish people. According to the Bible, on the third day after Jesus died, he rose from the dead and came back to life. Christians believe that Jesus died so that his followers might also experience life after death and forgiveness for their sins and wrongdoings. This miracle is why Christians all over the world celebrate Easter. Now, there's nothing wrong with teaching young people about the beliefs in various religions. However, I do not think it's effective to have 6-year-olds learn about Christianity or any other religion by being read to such a detailed text. I also find that 6-year-olds, because of their youth, will have difficulty differentiating between the religion being taught in school and their own religion, leading to confusion instead of depth of understanding and clarity. 6-year-olds should be involved in activities that encourage them to be creative and inquisitive, not passive receivers of information. This is not the foundation on which education of our youngest students should be built. Then there is the matter of the impact the modules are having on our special education students. I've already mentioned that the modules do not allow for differentiation, taking away the ability of teachers to meet the needs of their learning disabled students. You may also be aware of this fact. In elementary schools, special education classes contain students of more than one grade, and as a result, teachers need to teach 2 different lessons, 2 different grade levels, simultaneously with the same class. How anybody can think this is acceptable is beyond me. We are embarking on the path of whole school reform without any recent relevant research to support this decision. Our students, our children, are not guinea pigs. We should not be experimenting with the brand new, untested curriculum, especially considering the seemingly countless problems being found by its educators statewide. And lastly, on November 5th, all 18 superintendents of the Western Suffolk BOCES signed a letter addressed to Commissioner King calling for major changes in the state's reform efforts. The letter echoes our sentiments by stating that we do not believe the majority of the modules are realistic for all students. It then goes on to list 5 specific suggestions, all of which the LTA agree. Rather than reading them all, a letter will be provided to you. And for the record, the teachers are not against the Common Core learning standards. They are against, however, the absurd method that the state wants them implemented. The 300 teachers of this district urge you to please put an end to this madness, both in ELA and math. Eliminate the mandated use of modules. Allow teachers to create new lessons and activities on their own that embrace the Common Core. Allow teachers to properly differentiate to meet the needs of all their students. Allow teachers to make distinctions between honors and average classes. Allow teachers to be creative once again, to infuse the love of learning within their students. Allow teachers to actually teach again, instead of being robotic Stepford teachers. Do all these things, but not for the sake of the teachers. Do it because it's obviously the right thing for the children of the Lawrence Public Schools. Thank you.
Are you providing a copy of that for the board?
Hi. First, I have
No.
Meg
Introduce
Doyle. I
yourself.
have 2 children in the school, one in middle school and one in high school.